So guys, if you'd like to get your federal firearms license or start becoming an NRA certified instructor, feel free to use the button below and get in touch with me, and we'll set up a strategy call and talk about how we can do this for your business. So the name of the game today is how to get your federal firearms license. Okay. A lot of people think that, getting a federal firearms license is ridiculously difficult, ridiculously expensive. A lot of people think that if you get your federal firearms license, that the ATF is going to randomly raid your business in the middle of the night. There's a lot of misnomers and ridiculous information about becoming an FFL. We're going to clarify some of those myths. So first of all, to give you an example of what the ATF require, the ATF only requires that you have 4 walls and a roof, okay, almost literally. So they don't really care, of course, that, having a safe or an alarm system or, barricaded doors and windows and things, all of that is good, but it's not required. Okay. So the government doesn't require you to have an inspection of your safe or your alarm system or anything like that. It's just, it's recommended. But the requirement is 4 walls and a roof. The process is pretty simple. Okay. You can have a federal firearm license out of your home. The only thing that the federal government requires is that the local government is happy. What that means is you've got to go and you've got to apply to the local ordinance that you have, whether that's your city or your county. You've got to have your business license from them for wherever it is you're going to be. If you're going to have that in a retail store, you've got to have your business license there. If you're going to have it in your home, you've got to have your business license there. Some places require, for the business license stuff, some places require you to, here in Ocala, for instance, in order for me to get a FFL out of my home here, Marion County had to come and take some pictures of my kitchen table where I set up my laptop and my printer. Okay. Once they do that, I get a sign off on them. The sign off goes straight with my application and a $200 fee to the ATF. And that was the whole process. After you go and apply for your FFL, they're going to send somebody to your facility, whether it's your house or your business. And that person is going to sit with you for 2 hours. They call it an interview, but it's really not. It's just them showing you how to do the paperwork, asking questions about the business that are standard. Is there a safe? Is there an alarm system? What are your hours of operation? How many employees do you expect to have? How many guns do you expect to be buying and selling? Are you just doing this for your personal collection, because you can't be an FFL if you're personal? And then they, sign off and you get your application. The whole process takes about 2 months, but it is super easy to do and super convenient, because now you can buy and sell guns and conduct the background checks to people that you don't know. It's a pretty standard process. Here is what the ATF has on their site for becoming an FFL. I'll just pull it up real quick. How to become a federal firearms licensee in 10 easy steps. 1, you make the decision. 2, you request the required forms from the ATF, which is just their application, ATF Form 7, and send $200 to apply. The application is sent to a local field office. The licensing center records the application information. They check a background check. They send the license to a local area. Then the operations investigator conducts an interview with you. They prepare their report. The supervisor signs off, and they send your FFL. So the whole process takes about 60 days. So again, oftentimes the most difficult part is just getting your authorization from your local government, because sometimes they can be a pain in the butt. What you want to do when you talk to your local government is you want to say these words: I am doing a home-based, if you're doing it from your home, a home-based internet business. Okay. That's it. Don't talk about guns. Don't talk about anything, because we don't want politics to get involved in this. Every local ordinance has the ability to do a home-based internet business.
Part of their interview process, do they ask you if it's guns or anything along those lines?
No, they don't ever ask you if it's guns, because there's millions of businesses that get started. Guns are like one fraction of a percentage of the applications they process. So they don't ever really think about that. But if they ask, what are you buying and selling? I would just explain, that's not It's not required for you to know that. You have to think about what governments are there to do. As long as we're not doing anything illegal, I don't think it's their business for whatever our business is, right?
Okay.
Whether it's guns or arts and crafts, it's just not a conversation I would have with the local government.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Yep, absolutely. It's a very simple process. Like I said, $200, tax. And let's clear up the rumor right now that the ATF is going to suddenly appear in the middle of the night and audit your books. That's not true. What is true is that within 3 years, they will have somebody that comes and sets an appointment with you and checks out your books. Okay. What that means is they're looking at the background checks, making sure that all the paperwork is up to date. They're looking at your acquisition and disposition book, making sure that, the paperwork's in order, but that's it. Okay. So, it's not like they're coming in the middle of the night, knocking on your doors. They're only allowed to come when you're open according to your registration with your federal firearms license, and they will call before they come.
Okay. How much paperwork is usually involved in as far as purchasing and selling and as far as record keeping?
Yeah. So let me grab that. All right. So there's two ways of doing it. There's one way of doing it on your computer and logging everything on your computer. The trouble with logging everything on your computer is that there's a million different technicalities. You've got to print it out every 3 months. You've got to have an accurate printout every 3 months. You've got to have all sorts of offsite backup. It's really, really complicated when you start doing it online. But, for small business, all you really need to do is have this book, okay? Firearms Acquisition and Disposition Record Book. This you buy from Amazon, okay? Literally, it's like $20. And what you have on your one side is you've got your firearm acquisition, okay? Where did the guns come from? And where did the guns go? Okay. So if you're shipping out a gun, what you need to do is you need to have a copy of the federal firearms license for whoever is, you're shipping it to. And, for instance, you'll get a copy of their federal firearms license, which looks like this. Okay. Then you record on the disposition line that I ship that out to Magnum Sports or something along those lines. Okay. If you are selling it to a private person, you'll have them fill out a background check that looks like this. Okay. This is called a 4473. It's very simple. The information on the firearm goes here. They fill all this out. They fill the back out. They sign and date. You fill out the rest, which is just right here. It's just what is the date of purchase. Okay. What is the date of the background check? And then your information right over here. It's super simple. You keep this on hand for 21 years. If you ever go out of business, you surrender your records. But once you've done the background check and they've got an approval, you put their information over here. You just put in their full name, their driver's license number, their address, and you're done. It's called closing it out, right? It's called closing it out. Mm-hmm. So you can see that your inventory that's not closed out, they've got these blank spaces right here. These are the guns that I still have, right? So that's the hardest part. Is just keeping track of the guns that you have coming in and out. Very, very simple. This is the paperwork that you need. I mean, this is it. So guys, if you'd like to get your federal firearms license or start becoming an NRA certified instructor, feel free to use the button below and get in touch with me, and we'll set up a strategy call and talk about how we can do this for your business.